Hi, Andrew Yang and team. My name is Tracy, and I've been suicidal since the 7th grade. I've struggled with several mental health issues, such as bipolar 2, panic attacks, anxiety, and the list goes on and on. But despite that, with only a high school diploma, I managed to get myself into the software industry as a software tester. I started my career at Microsoft, and I worked there altogether for 7.5 years. I say altogether 7.5 years because throughout my career, I took long breaks between jobs because of my mental health issues and the rest of the health issues that I struggle with. My last stint at Microsoft, I interviewed with 2 teams, and not unusually for me, I got the offer from both teams. One was with a team doing automated telephone support. The other team, I would have been the first software tester in Microsoft's research and development team. Yes, Microsoft's first software tester in their research and development team. A dream job. But I knew I couldn't do the job because of my health issues, my mental, emotional, and physical. I would have been really good at that job. But that job was stolen from me, as well as my life. Because I have what 60% of the population has. My friends thought I was crazy for turning that job down. But that's exactly why I had to turn that job down. So I took the other job, and it lasted for a couple of weeks before I had a complete mental breakdown. And I had to move back to Portland, Oregon, where my family could support me. Through the years, I struggled from one job to the next, living on unemployment as long as I could, because I just struggled working, and I had to support myself. Unfortunately, eventually my mental, emotional, and physical health was really bad after I got fired again. Had it not been for Oregon State's Medicaid, I probably wouldn't be here right now. Through Medicaid, I got the mental and physical help that I absolutely, desperately needed. That was the only way I got mental health medications and doctors, which carried me through the fight for Social Security disability. It was a 5-year ordeal where I was homeless, living in a women's shelter, and now I'm living in government housing, HUD, and I've had no income this whole time. I had to sell myself. I had to sell my plasma so I could have money to buy toilet paper. No charities have toilet paper donations. You have to have cash to buy toilet paper. So I would sell my plasma. The first time I would get $25, the second time $45, while they sold each one of those for $1,000 to the medical corporations. If people got $1,000 a month, the plasma centers might not get as many customers donating their plasma. They might actually have to pay more for that plasma and profit less. So after the 5 years, I finally got disability. I get $2,115 a month, with $222 of that going for my Medicare insurance. So every year, I get just over $25,000, and that's too much money. I no longer qualify for many of the things that I used to qualify for. With $1,000 a month, I could have rented a room that whole time. I could have had money to buy toilet paper. I could have had the money to get the real medication I so desperately need because they aren't covered under insurance. And maybe over the last 5 years, I could have been making myself much better by getting the real treatment I need. We keep talking about gun violence being a mental health issue. Well, then we need to start testing every person who presents with a mental health issue for MTHFR deficiency. I, like 60% of the population, is low in B12 and folate. We have a devastating genetic defect that results in a laundry list of health issues, mental health being one of those. The genetic defect, commonly referred to as MTHFR deficiency, also known as methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase deficiency, it's a pair of genes, one coming from mom, one coming from dad, and this pair of genes is responsible for taking the B12 and folate that you consume and converting it into the bioavailable form or the methylated form of folate and B12, which is what the body actually uses. This genetic defect, as I said, has a long laundry list of health issues associated to it, mental health being one of those. The quick and easiest way to test someone who is presenting with a mental health issue is to test them with a simple blood test or even a swab test that most insurance companies cover. And the reason they cover it is because doctors who are working with people who have cardiovascular issues also test for MTHFR deficiency. The two supplements, methylfolate and methylcobalamin B12, are the methylated forms, the bioavailable forms. They're very inexpensive and can be purchased at a common grocery store. And if you talk to anyone in the supplement department, they will be familiar with methylfolate and methylcobalamin B12 because they are such a common supplement. The other way to find out if you have MTHFR deficiency is with Genomind, specifically for testing the genetic issues related to mental health. One of the results in this test is for MTHFR deficiency. This is an expensive genetic test that the state of Oregon covered, and it verified and confirmed the blood test that my doctor had previously ordered to determine that I have MTHFR deficiency. So I recently got my disability, and today I'm in the middle of transitioning my life to disability and losing my naturopathic doctors because Medicare doesn't recognize naturopathic doctors. The doctors I've been working with for the last 5 years, the doctors who figured out what my smoking gun was, MTHFR deficiency. So now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to live on $2,000 a month with the chronic health issues that I have. And I fear that I'm going to be medically bankrupt, like so many other people who have chronic health issues. And as you will probably see when I post this to you guys, I don't have a social media profile, or presence, I'm sorry. I'm a bit of an isolationist, and I can't manage all of the information coming in from social media. And I struggle being out in public because of my mental health issues and anxiety. So that's my story, and how $1,000 a month from someone who is at the top of their life and got down to the bottom of a life. I don't know how I'm going to survive on just over $25,000 a month. So thank you for hearing me out, and I just want everybody to know about MTHFR deficiency because it is so devastating and it's so simple to treat. And I know the pharmaceutical companies won't be happy if people are treating themselves with two very common, simple supplements. But we deserve to live life. We deserve to be happy. And the pharmaceutical medications aren't cutting it. I'm still suicidal. I'm still struggling to figure out how I'm going to survive on less than what I used to get when I had no income. And I actually have it pretty good in comparison to many other people on Medicare. So that's my story, and how $1,000 a month could have kept me from shame and embarrassment, having to sell myself so I can buy toilet paper. Thank you for hearing me out.